just thought I'd come on here quickly and add some more beauty content to this channel. So this morning we're getting ready to do day 3 on site in our new house. We've spent 2 full days painting. We still have a lot more painting to do, but we're also bringing the cattle trailer and bringing a bunch of our stuff inside the house. So a hair tutorial for a day like this, but really for any day. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a toque, your favorite toque, like make sure it's your favorite one. I like this one because it kind of like keeps things tight. It's like has a nice tightness to it, but not like give me a headache tight. We're gonna put the toque on, find your preferred angle and perfect spot. Decide if today is a tuck your hair behind the ears day or not. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to this hairstyle tutorial. Bye. Well, it's coming up 3 weeks since we were able to access our new house and start moving in. So much has happened since then, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you've definitely seen a lot of previews of the work we've been doing in the house. But I'm happy to share that I have many video clips and before and afters to share here in this video. After unlocking our new front door and doing an initial walkthrough to check everything out, and showing it to my in-laws for the very first time, we moved right into reno mode. The first things to go were a few sets of some huge fabric vertical blinds that I'm going to guess were original from the 80s, the year the trailer was built. Next, we cracked open the paint. I've always wanted to try all white interiors, and now was our chance. I had bought 5 gallons of a special primer meant for vinyl on gypsum walls that mobile homes are made from, and then also 5 gallons of pure white paint. Brett's mom, aunt, and I were the painting team for the first few days, but shout out to the 2 of them because they've since continued and I've dropped off to work on other renos and toddler wrangling. That's the teacher. When I did a second walkthrough of the house with the real estate agent and a home inspector, I told the real estate agent that I already knew one of the first things that I wanted to do was open up a closet that was next to the kitchen. The thin veneer doors were crooked on their tracks, and when you slid them open, you barely had access to half of the closet. So I Hulk smashed the hardware and busted the doors off, and then unscrewed the tracking. We painted the inside of the closet, and then I decided I would try painting the laminate flooring too, since the primer I bought for the walls also worked for laminate. I did a quick Google search on how to do it. One thing I learned was that you should sand the area first. So I sanded, then painted 1 coat of primer, and then 2 coats of paint. I had a feeling that one of my favorite shelves would fit really well in it. A metal industrial shelf that I lovingly call my kitchen witch shelf. Since I had previously had it in our old kitchen and it held a mixture of my bread making, gardening supplies, as well as jars, cookbooks, aprons, baskets, I was so excited to build it, and even more excited to unpack all my favorite kitchenwares that had been safely nestled in storage boxes for almost 2 months. I loved how the closet reno turned out. So much space, and there's still room above the shelf for some sort of other storage solutions in the future. A few days later, I baked my inaugural batch of country sourdough, and I was so relieved to see that our 33-year-old oven was able to get hot enough, and that the bottom didn't burn. The more we painted, the more I fell in love with what a few coats of white paint can do, and the closet doors came off in every room. S's room came together quickly, and it is the perfect little nook for us to read him books till he falls asleep, as well as storing his drawer full of clothes. He really only spends time in his room when we're reading books to him for bedtime and for sleeping, so we keep his room pretty simple and functional. I think it was night 3 that we spent our first night sleeping in the house. We hadn't pulled up the carpet or painted our bedroom yet, so we set up our mattress in the living room. We fell asleep talking about the house and the work we wanted to do to it. I sold Brett on the idea of shiplap ceiling in the living room to to cover the faded popcorn ceiling, which suddenly looked very beige next to the bright white walls. We both stared at the weird box and light thingy that was hanging over the island in the kitchen and said, first things first, we really need to get rid of this. Bye. You got it. We also lied in bed saying we should do this and this and this until we fell asleep, with never-ending project lists rolling through our heads and smiles on our faces because we love doing work like this. Next day, we were ready to rip up the carpet in the primary bedroom. I had watched a tutorial video and taken a trip to Canadian Tire for the supplies we needed. We geared up with our safety equipment and started prying and ripping. After ripping it all up, vacuuming the 30 years of dust that had settled underneath the underlay, pulled and pried hundreds of staples and tacks out of the subfloor. Once we were done ripping up the flooring, the painters wasted no time moving in and getting to work. The real miracle was that S napped through the whole time we were ripping up the carpet, in the room right next to us too. We were using the pry bar, vacuuming, snapping wood in half, and talking, and he just snoozed away. What a champ. I had been shopping around for flooring for a while and fallen in love with a luxury plank vinyl that was in stock at Home Depot. We took measurements and did a day trip into the city and loaded up our car with boxes of flooring and installation supplies. Okay, flooring is happening. We were so keen to get the flooring in so we could move into our room that we started installing it that night. We almost got halfway before we bonked and called it bedtime. We started again in the morning and finished in the afternoon. We bought the wrong type of transition. Are we doing it right? And the seam covers that hold our walls together need to be carved up before we install our trim. So it's not 100% complete yet, but we were able to build our bed and move into the room, and we love it so much. We took off the closet doors and painted inside the closet here too. I did consider keeping the original wallpaper exposed for a split second, but I figured I would probably get sick of it fast and that we should paint while all the supplies were out. We also made it a priority to take down the ceiling fan that was in our bedroom. The ceiling height is only 8 feet, so I had to duck to avoid hitting my head on it. I had bought a pendant light that was on sale for $35 at Canadian Tire, which I thought I would install over the dining room table, but we installed it in our bedroom instead. We love it. When we were falling asleep that night, Brett said, "It looks like a hotel room in here." We're starting to feel settled and we were really in love with our new home. We're learning the house's quirks, like how the old 3-pane windows completely frosted over in the cold, and how the faucet in our bathroom was installed too far back and dribbles all over the countertop. We have a long list of things we'd like to fix and or update, and we're trying to prioritize the ones that are the most important or urgent. Then there are some half aesthetic, half function upgrades, like swapping out all the door handles. All of these things we are sneaking into evenings after we put S down to bed and weekends. And we still have plenty of unpacked boxes. All this to say, there's lots to do around the house still, and if you're into it, I'll continue sharing the work in the videos here. Subscribe if you haven't already. I already know that the next video is going to have even more fun news in it. See you then. So, went into town to get a tea, and on the way home, Sawyer fell asleep at like 3, which is super not great for what time he's gonna sleep tonight. So, I got home and there was some super great music playing on CBC2, and I just put the car in park, left it on, tilted my seat back a little bit, closed my eyes, and just listened to the song. And I try not to worry about how this nap is really late today. And that's my parenting self-care today, is just giving myself the time to listen to a few songs with my eyes closed and just take a few deep breaths. I always want to take like a million photos of him when he's sleeping.